then, oh, that's right. President Biden's current chief of staff, Ron Klain, when they lose the next election in 2022 and the Republicans take over the chair spots, can subpoena Ron Klain and rely on the precedent that this committee set and get the information about Biden too. Oh, that one might sting. You didn't think that through, did you? So I had warned you over the last few shows that the Democrats were going to have an issue. They are trying to coerce and intimidate people into cooperating with this January 6th committee that is not interested in January 6th at all, but is interested in the 2022 midterm elections. It's like a super PAC to get more Democrats elected. So a number of people, including Steve Bannon and Mark Meadows, when they figured out what was going on and that these congressional subpoenas they're issuing have no legislative intent at all, and that they're trying to usurp the powers of law enforcement, which Congress does not have, Meadows and Bannon said, we're not cooperating. So they said, well, we got an idea, despite the fact that very few people have ever been jailed for not complying with a congressional subpoena. Just ask Lois Lerner of the IRS and Eric Holder, former attorney general under Obama, who said, hey, go blank yourself. I'm not responding to this congressional subpoena. What happened to them? Nothing. They became celebrities overnight on the left. But they decided now it would be a good idea. The horrendous attorney general, Merrick Garland, who has no dignity or ethics at all, they decided it'd be a good idea to use the DOJ to go and lock people up. So they put Bannon on and locked up Steve Bannon. Now they're going after the president's former chief of staff and a former congressman, Mark Meadows. Well, the Washington Post is starting to realize what I said the other day, that they've got a real problem, the Democrats now. The article's by Matt Zapotosky in the Washington Post. Meadows' referral creates new legal and political challenges for Garland and the DOJ. You know, if the left only watched this show, they would have known this far in advance. What did I tell you the other day? There's no end game here. More and more people are going to start ignoring these subpoenas as they realize they are unconstitutional, unethical, and immoral. And this has nothing to do with January 6th. And what are they going to do? They're going to put everyone in jail? Those pictures are going to look great before an election. So here's what the Washington Post had to say about it. This is the classic dilemma someone finds himself in when they do, and they have a choice between bad and worse. The Post says if prosecutors charge Meadows for failing to comply with the subpoena from the committee investigating the January 6th breach of the Capitol, they could risk undermining the ability of the executive branch to keep officials' discussions private. More on that in a second, including in future administrations. They could also face Republican allegations that they're abandoning precedent to unfairly target a political foe. The verdict is in. The Dan Bongino Show called it again.
Yep.
Did I not? Here's the problem they have now, folks. Now that they decided to use a heavy hand and practice Gestapo-like tactics, right? We're going to lock you up. You don't testify in front of us. Despite no precedent for locking people up in the past for ignoring congressional subpoenas, right? On one hand, if they let Meadows and Bannon ignore the subpoena, everyone else is going to ignore the subpoena too. On the other hand, if they lock them up and do these heavy-handed things and don't try to do what a normal, sensible committee would do, Joe, which would be to try and work with these people and do it ethically. Hey, listen, we're looking into this. We need some stuff. Can you help us out? That's not what this committee's interested at all in. This committee is only interested in humiliating Republicans before the 2022 election. So Meadows and Bannon are like pound sand. So the problem they have now is if they don't enforce the subpoena, more people, when they realize what's up, are going to ignore the congressional subpoenas in the January 6th committee. But if they enforce the subpoena and Mark Meadows, who was Trump's former chief of staff, is forced to give up all this information, then, oh, that's right. President Biden's current chief of staff, Ron Klain, when they lose the next election in 2022 and the Republicans take over the chair spots, can subpoena Ron Klain and rely on the precedent that this committee set and get the information about Biden too. Oh, that one might sting. You didn't think that through, did you?
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show.